Yeah. Councilwoman Hayner. Councilwoman Hayner. Councilman Kitchen. Councilman Secreto. Councilman Van Cleek. Supervisor Quigley.
Here. Thank you very much for coming tonight and welcome to the Town of Ulstertown Board meeting for Thursday, May 18th, 2023. Emergency exits are to your rear and to your left and to your right. If there is an issue we need to evacuate, please evacuate in an orderly fashion and follow the directions of Chief Berardi, who will be the last one out. Are there any additions or changes to the agenda? The supervisor has one resolution to present that is not on the agenda. It will be presented at the end of new business. It is a referral from the Town of Ulster Planning Board. It is a resolution requesting that the Town of Ulstertown Board declare lead agency for the seeker review for the iPark 87 master plan. This is a standard resolution that is passed for all projects that are in excess of 2,500 square feet that the town board has final approval on. This will establish the authority for the town clerk to issue public notices to the various interested involved agencies to comment on the appropriateness for the town of Ulster to serve as the lead agency. In your package are the minutes for the April 6th workshop and the April 20th town board meeting, both of which were led by Deputy Supervisor Clayton Van Cleek. I was not here, so I will not vote on them. Mr. Van Cleek, will you call the motion? Well, then you can't vote either. So we have a first and a second, and all those in favor?
To
So
abstain.
3-2 and abstain.
Okay.
You were, wait, we got to split that vote. You were here for you missed both of them? Okay. Communications?
Yes, I'll read this quickly and then you skipped over public comment.
Thank you. I'll come back to it.
One public comment one communication tonight was a letter received from town resident Jeffrey Ring. He is concerned about short-term rentals or Airbnbs in the town of Ulster. He states that Airbnb is not an approved use within residential zoning, and he requests an amendment to our residential code.
We will answer that communication at the next meeting, and we will discuss amongst ourselves as to how to proceed. With that, I would like to backtrack and call for public comment on agenda items. Are there anyone here tonight who wish to comment on items that are on our scheduled agenda? Thank you. Mr. Van Cleeg?
Excuse me, under budget modifications, we have two items in our packet that are relatively small modifications and transfers within the budget, which is not uncommon for this time of the year. So I make a motion that these both be accepted.
Although, any discussion on the budget modifications and transfers? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Second, we have the monthly review of the abstract of claims. We went through all of them. There was nothing that stood out as any concern at all. Matter of fact, everything seemed well within order. So I make a motion that we accept the abstract of claims as presented.
I second that.
Any discussion on the abstract of claims? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Van Cleve. Under new business, the first item is the presentation and acceptance of the town clerk's monthly report for the month of April 2023 in the amount of $24,482.40. Is there anything, Miss Town Clerk, that you would like to call to our attention in this report? May I have a motion to accept the town clerk's report as presented? Do I have a second? Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Annually, the town of Ulster has an independent audit and agreed upon procedures review for the financial activities conducted in the town in the prior year. The first item here is the presentation and acceptance without exception of the final 2022 financial reports for the town clerk's tax collector's office and the justice court. These reports will be or have been posted to the town's website for public review. May I have a motion to accept? I have a second.
Sec-
Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. The next item is the financial statement audit for the town's general operations and all the funds. This is the report that Regis loves to analyze. This was again done without exception. I want to clarify the audit report. If someone looks at it, the town has not recognized and capitalized its fixed assets as was required by GASB 34, which was implemented in 2004. We're still working on it. May I have a motion to accept the 2022 audited reports?
So, second,
Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. The next item is a motion to authorize the supervisor to sign the contract between the town of Ulster and Ulster County Canines, Inc. for the care and boarding of canines for a one-year period. You have a motion? Any discussion? All those in favor?
aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Mr. Secreto, the next 6 items are personnel related and they're yours.
These 4 hires I'll group into one, and this comes at the request of our wastewater superintendent, Vincent Majori. The hires' names are Mark Grant, John Dixon, Ian Underwood, and Richard Matt Petro. And they will be titled under wastewater maintenance worker, comes out of the sewer department, comes out of the sewer fund. It's a full-time job, non-competitive. It's a union position with local 17. It's health insurance, full-time covered, grade 1, step 5. The wage will be $16.63 an hour. Start date is 05/30/2023. And I said this comes at the request of Vincent Majori, and I make a motion to hire these 4 for the sewer plant.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Right, the next one comes out of the request of our Chief Berardi of the Police Department. And these will be part-time police officers. James Demskick and Michael Arminis, is that how you say it? Their title will be part-time police officer. Comes out of the general fund. It's part-time, non-competitive. It is a union position with the PBA. Health insurance not covered. Step 1, wage will be $26.41. Start date is 06/01/2023, and that also comes out from the request of Chief Berardi, and I make a motion to hire those two for part-time police officers.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
This next one also comes out of the police department. Our employee's name is Elizabeth R. Smith. She will be a part-time police dispatcher. Comes out of the general fund. It's part-time. It's union position with the PBA. No health insurance. It's a step one. Wage will be $19.58. Start date is 05/21/2023, and also from the request comes from Chief Berardi, and I make a motion to hire Ms. Smith.
Any discussion?
None.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Our next motion from the Personnel Committee comes, we hire some, but then we also have the honor of seeing some people retire. We did receive a memorandum to Chief Kyle Berardi and to the town board. With this memorandum, I am announcing my retirement from the position of First Sergeant with the Ulster Police Department effective May 20th, 2023. This comes from First Sergeant Robert Sykes. It has been an honor and privilege serving the members of this community. First, as a dispatcher beginning in the year 2000 and working my way up in the ranks to my current position. I would like to thank Chief Berardi for his leadership and opportunities he has provided me over the years. And further, I wish to acknowledge the outstanding men and women of the Ulster Police Department who perform at the highest level day in and day out. From First Sergeant Robert Sykes. Motion to accept his retirement.
I'll make the motion.
I will ask to modify the motion to add the words "in good standing"
In good standing.
to allow Mr. Sykes to participate in the post-retirement pistol program. The federal license.
Amended to say in good standing.
Thank you. I have a motion. Do I have a second? Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
The
May
sec-
I make a comment?
Sure.
When Chief Berardi made his remarks today during the retirement and last walkout for First Sergeant Sykes, he articulated the fact that in the last 1 year, we've had 5 retirements of officers in the town of Ulster. While it is gratifying to see individuals reach the pinnacle of their career and achieve a secure retirement, I think it's my duty as supervisor to remind the community that each retirement comes with a $35,000 post-retirement health care bill that goes on until they reach Social Security's age. And the detrimental impacts on the town budget are immense because we have to replace that officer. We have to pay the new salaries and we continue to pay health care. So with all the joy that comes from seeing these individuals reach their goals in their career, we have to be cognizant that we are dedicated to continuing to fund as part of our commitment to their career. Thank you.
The next motion we have is to accept the retirement from William Goldpaw dated May 16th, 2023. This letter is to inform the town of Ulster and the town board that I will be retiring from the town of Ulster as of May 31st, 2023. My last day of work will be May 30th, 2023. Thank you, William Goldpaw. He serves as a mechanic in the highway department.
I'll make the motion.
Do I have a second? Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Motion carries.
We have one more from the sewer department. We have an irrevocable resignation from employment. I, Kyle Norman, hereby resign service from the town of Ulster effective immediately, dated May 16th, 2023.
We have a motion.
I'll make it.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. The next 2 items are in relation to the Ulster Water District's small south tower. Earlier this year, the town of Ulster was successful in applying for and receiving a $500,000 subaward from Ulster County for the reconstruction of this water storage facility. We were intending on using the capital reserves in conjunction with that $500,000 grant to fund the construction of this project and start this year. Unfortunately, several other capital projects also came up on the horizon. And it is now recommended by myself that the town apply to the Environmental Facilities Corporation of New York State for a WIA grant that is being called for by July, the middle of July for applications. So the next two motions relate to authorizing the supervisor to sign contracts for service. One with Mark Blauer for the replacement of the small water tank. Mr. Blauer is the town's grant writer. So may I have a motion?
So moved.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. The next item is to authorize the supervisor to sign a grant and a replacement budget with Bernier and Larios, the town engineers, for this grant. May I have a motion?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. We now come to the resolution that was added at the beginning of the meeting. It is a resolution of the Town of Ulster Town Board for I-Park 87 East Campus Site Plan, Project 908. It covers section block and lot number 48.7-1-29.110, 120, 130, 140, 150, 160, 170, 240, 250, 270, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, and 900. This is a referred resolution from the Town of Ulster Planning Board, and it authorizes the Town of Ulster to declare lead agency in the seeker review and to have the town clerk issue the notices. May I have a motion to accept the resolution as presented? Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving to old business. A motion to accept the annual update document filed with the New York State Controller's Office for the town's financial results for the year ending December 31st, 2022, fulfilling the supervisor's obligation under General Municipal Law, Section 30, to provide a financial accounting of the town's finances to the town board. May I have a motion? Any discussion?
No.
All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. The next item is the presentation of a resolution abolishing the position of the administrative aide in the police department. If you recall, during the month of April, Bonnie Simmons, the longtime administrative aide, retired. The position of administrative aide was replaced by moving the senior dispatcher from the dispatch function into the office outside of the chief of police, so that the chief dispatcher takes over administrative responsibilities as well as retaining responsibilities for administering the dispatch function within our police department. May I have a motion? Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. At a previous meeting, Mr. Secreto presented a revised concussion policy for the town's recreation program. I'm asking for a motion to approve the revised concussion policy tonight.
I'll make that motion.
Discussion?
Only discussion I have on this is that our insurance company is in full support of this and commends our town for including this in our policies because it will protect our rates.
Thank you.
The other thing is each council and each parent, everybody involved will receive a copy of this.
And they will be required to acknowledge
Yes.
Sign.
both this one and the next one,
Mhm.
so that we have documentation in our records.
Mhm.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. The next item is a revised sexual abuse and misconduct prevention policy. Mr. Secreto, could you just explain this a little bit?
The sexual, more or less the concussion policy, just with some different words there. We just make sure our employees are up to date. We can send them to the database for the state and make sure they don't have any background checks on, which we did the other day with all our counselors. They all went through it. Nothing stood out.
Good.
We're following, it. We just had to
Right.
put it in writing.
Okay.
Everybody needs to understand the state's coming down on the insurance companies, which come back down on us. So we're just following procedure.
May I have a motion to accept the revised policy?
I'll make the motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Mr. Secreto for a summer camp discussion?
Summer camp, signups are way ahead of what we had last year. We're up to 35 right now. We're looking at a total of 65 only kids. But we approximately have 30 openings, which myself and Susie, our clerk, is gonna put on our Facebook page that there's only 30 openings left, and after that, we're not taking any more kids. Can only take a certain amount of kids with counselors, 6 kids per counselor, and right now I have 11 or 12 counselors that are signed up. So we'll put that on our Facebook page tomorrow. And hopefully we get it, a lot of kids in there earlier than that. A lot of them wait for the last second to sign up. So we'll have it on.
Very good. Thank you for the update. Mr. Tutt. Please come forward to the podium and give us a report on the update of the situation at the Roadway Inn.
Good evening, Supervisor, member of the boards. I received a communique today from DSS as of 4:26 this afternoon. They had relocated all of the individuals and families that they had placed, which totaled 30 as 2 weeks ago. At this time, they have no indication of putting any future families or individuals there. I met with the owner of the hotel, informed him that if I do not receive communique from the DEC clearing all the violations on the sewage treatment system, that effectively the hotel will be closed. And starting Monday at 9 AM, we'll be doing a thorough inspection of every room and every outbuilding on the site to clear up any and all outstanding violations that may exist. Questions?
Are you getting cooperation from everybody who committed to it at the last meeting? Was the county committed to cooperation and
The county committed, the county has been updating me every evening at about 7 PM as to the status of how many were left, how many rooms, how many, how many singles, how many families. They had a difficult time in the last few. One person who refused to leave until he was informed that there was an impending closure. So if he didn't take their assistance, he'd have no place to go. So he agreed and he left. To my understanding, most of them were not placed back in the town. They were placed in other locations out of the town.
so thank you. I'm glad they cooperated.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our scheduled items for tonight. Mr. Secreto?
I have a letter here that I'm gonna read in response to a May 4th request from the ulstercitizens.org. regarding the establishment of a CAC. It's a Conservation Advisory Council. Our town supervisors, James Quigley III and Councilman Clayton Van Cleet, met with Laura Hartman and Regis Olszewski, representing the town of Ulster Citizens.org this past Monday to discuss the petition and request for the town to form a CAC. We discussed and reviewed several aspects of this request and want to present the reason of the board's current position. While we agree with the ongoing need to protect and conserve our environment, we are doing more research before we decide to form a CAC. There we go. The supervisor has reached out to towns within our county and region for their experiences to working with and perspective on establishing a CAC. The town of Ulster has an excellent reputation and relationship with the Ulster County Planning Board, having been recommended for our full spectrum considerations of growth and development within our town. The town of Ulster has a very respectable environmental perspective regarding the business of our municipality's work in planning, development, and preservation. Town's planning board and building department have a very good relationship with the state, federal, environmental protection agencies. The town openly welcomes and accepts applications for planning and zoning board members with a desire to add diversity of backgrounds to these boards. All planning and zoning meetings are regularly scheduled with agendas, documents published online before the meeting. The planning and zoning reviews always include environmental protection and enhancement consideration. Our town planner has significant experience with environmental issues and supports our efforts to protect the environment. Our assessor's office has a full inventory of all vacant, undeveloped property within our town. We use this to direct inquiring developers to areas we think are best suited for development while protecting the environmental and sensitive areas for our community. Our supervisor has been and continues to be in negotiations on many environmental conservation projects such as the Protect the Ridge incident are with considerations to designate the areas as parks or forever wild. We, the board, institute additional committees or boards. We would like to ask our community to increase our valuable involvement and input into existing planning and zoning boards. We agree that environmental conservation and protection must continue to be vital priorities in all our future planning and zoning. And I said, the board decides this, and that's under consideration with us.
To add to the comments read by Mr. Secreto, I want to advise the town. As we all know, Glide Path has abandoned the battery storage facility project on Frank Satile Boulevard. We initially learned of this abandonment by a phone call from Scenic Hudson because Scenic Hudson had been involved in providing the stewardship for the 100 acres on the south side of Frank Satile Boulevard to maintain its environmental position. Glide Path asked Scenic Hudson to consider purchasing the land. 2 years ago, Glide Path and Scenic Hudson were in the supervisor's office and proposed a series of trails on that property along with a conservation easement. The town could not encourage a conservation easement and could not engage in a conservation easement as we were not the owner of the property. When I was contacted by Seth McKee of Scenic Hudson, I engaged in a conversation that went towards forming a partnership between the town where we would apply for grants to develop the trail system using funds that are currently available under a sub-award agreement from the Ulster County ARPA allocation for recreation and town monies in the general fund, and utilizing force account work from our highway department to build the system of trails. This project is going to take some time to coordinate, and we will probably miss the deadline for submission to the county, which is tomorrow at 5 o'clock, for the consideration for the subaward. I fully intend on submitting a incomplete application and had a conversation with Scenic Hudson today, asking them to call the county executive's office to protect this project in consideration for receiving a subaward under this grant program. I will do my best to bring this to fruition, and we'll keep the community advised of what we are doing. This is a priority that was set forth in the 2007 comprehensive plan. Secondly, as it relates to the ridge, there are parcels on the north side of Frank Satile Boulevard that is north. They are north of the solar farm owned by the RRA. I have been in communication with the owners for a second time, and they have indicated a desire to contribute to the town as a donation. We would then add those into the Forever Wild designation of this ridge line. We previously, when we first considered taking these, had an environmental review done for pollution, and it came back clear. So this is a commitment that goes back several years, where we started down the road, and then Mr. Perna from AVR went in a different direction to try to develop that ridge for solar farms, and found out that he did not have the appropriate access to the Central Hudson power lines, the appropriate Central Hudson power lines. So we're moving forward on that also. Was there anything else that we discussed? Those are the two biggest as it relates to this. Now, as a personal comment from the supervisor, I have always been concerned about the nature of the 2007 comprehensive plan, whereby it set a lot of high-level goals, but really didn't lead a path to accomplishing those goals. I commit to these, to the community, that we will discuss amongst the town board about reconvening a comprehensive plan redesign committee and applying for the appropriate grants to fund the consultant who will assist in the drawing of that plan over the next 6 months. With that, I will open the floor to comments from the public. Ms. Hartman?
Good evening, Laura Hartman, 44 Catskill Avenue. Thank you for the response to our request. I have one correction. We didn't meet on Monday. We met on Thursday.
I'm sorry.
It was last week, but otherwise, thank you very much. There's one thing I want to clear up from my statement of last meeting. We have reason to believe that there may be a misperception about those who are associated with the town of UlsterCitizens.org and what we think about iPark 87 development. In general, we support the efforts of national resources and their conceptual plans as we understand them. We support green development, such as what we understand about companies like Zinc 8. We support workforce training and education centers that can be helpful to developers on the campus. We support the development of workforce housing. We support efforts to accelerate the remediation of the aquifer polluted with solvents by IBM. We support a variety of projects which will ease transitions in the future. We support ongoing communication with citizens as development unfolds, and we support a speedy but careful approval process. We do not wish to slow down unnecessarily any development still in the planning stages. Town of Ulster Citizens supports all of these goals. So I just wanted to clarify the record on those items. Thank you. It wasn't. Was it a Monday, Regis? Thursday. All right, but now we have something to fight about. So I'll have to-
another comment is that at a previous meeting, we had a public hearing for a lighting law. With every law comes unintended consequences. Board members took that law, read that law, and then decided to drive around the community. And then they started reporting back to me that we were setting up a situation where probably 50% of the town's population could file complaints against the other 50%. And taking that law and looking at my own driveway and the amount of light that periodically goes off my property into the adjacent lot, I would fall victim to that law, which was admittedly designed to solve a situation involving two neighbors. So I believe after discussions with the town board that we are going to abandon this law at this time. And I continue to advocate the two neighbors that are having problems that they retain a lawyer, because this is a civil matter. And they constantly look to the town to arbitrate it, and that is not our role. Mr. Robicheski?
Regis Obajeski, 170 Ledge Road, Town of Ulster. I just want to thank you for updating us on, all of us, on Glide Path. And I think we were very interested in what was going on. I think we were all very proud of what happened with Glide Path, and back in the day when we were still all talking to each other and Glide Path was in business with us. But the way it's likely to conclude is most welcome, that the ridge would be protected, that there'll be appropriate use of other properties owned by them and giving them to the town. So, we're very pleased with the way that came out. So I'm especially pleased with it. Thank you.
Are there any other individuals here tonight who wish to make comment about anything that you want to share with the town board? One last comment. The town of Ulster, in conjunction with the Ulster County Traffic Council, has been working on a planning study for Ulster Avenue involving the traffic, pedestrian access, bike access, ingress, egress to the various parcels from the intersection of East Chester Street and Albany Avenue, Ulster Avenue, all the way up to Central Hudson. Yesterday, as a part of the public outreach process for this project, we recorded the 15-minute video that will be placed on the internet that will explain the purposes of this study, present the study, and ask the community for their input and their ideas as to how to address the problems that have arisen from 50 years of growth in the Ulster Avenue corridor, and prepare us for the eventual growth that's going to come about from the iPark campus and the addition of residents occupying housing units there, who will be close enough to walk or bike to the commercial stores along Ulster Avenue. We need to prepare to make a provision for that to happen. So please continue to pay attention to the town clerk's Facebook page and web page. We will be putting out shortly a link to this website, which will be hosted by Ulster County. And hopefully we look forward to receiving your comments on this plan. Any comments from the board members? With that, I ask for a motion to adjourn. Second, all those in favor? Aye. Thank you very much. We will see you in June.